Hi friends, welcome back to the reread. Finally getting back to this. Now in this chapter, we have Tyrion drunk on a boat. We have a depressed post Tywin killing Tyrion, wondering what he's going to do next with his life, if anything at all. And this is 100% piss drunk Tyrion getting, sweating wine. Just for a quick summary, he's been taken to Illyrio's manse, and he's going to have a little convo with Illyrio. And I don't know that there are a ton of sketchy things in this one, but it's the first chapter, so I think maybe that develops. But just in summary, we're going to get a little bit of laying the grounds for what will eventually come with, what's that guy's name? Pissy one, Aegon. And I think we might have a little bit of insight into Varys and Illyrio's plan, which we know, but we don't know exactly what it is. We don't know exactly how Daenerys fits into it. And I was really focusing in on this. There's this one portion where there's a escort of Illyrio's who has an interesting background. So I'll just get into it. The first thing I noticed is in this, Tyrion is really down, understandably, about killing Shay, and he's thinking about what Jaime has told him in the last book, which is that his Tisha, who he had married, was not actually a prostitute. So he's wondering, when he asks the serving boy, where do whores go? And a note I have here is that, to me, this question was always kind of an allusion to the afterlife in not only, but in a way, it's wondering whether, they go to hell for doing sin, or heaven because, we're all flawed creatures in a way. My next note, this is one I'm paying attention to. It's that when they arrive in Pentos, the fruit is described as being a cherry tree. I thought this might be helpful because, I don't know if you know, but there is this mystery kind of surrounding where Daenerys was actually brought up, where the house with the red door actually is, because it doesn't quite jive with it being where she thinks it is. It doesn't jive with it being Braavos. My money is on Dorne because of the lemons, but we'll find out. So I just wanted to point out, I'm paying attention to trees. And just for a reminder, I'm just doing this because I think it's fun to kind of go through the details of the book. I've gotten into the different theories, been reading message boards, and I kind of want to go through myself. So while I'm going through the book myself, picking out details, I thought it might be fun for you to pick up details of your own, maybe make some theories on your own, or just speculate for yourself, but with a more in-depth look. So next up I have, what's fun here is that, so Varys is a eunuch, and he's buddies with Illyrio, and Tyrion points out that all of Illyrio's guards are plump eunuchs. And Tyrion even says that he could use some. And to me, this might be foreshadowing him coming into control of some Unsullied. And next I noted that Tyrion asked this question whether he should go north to the wall, where they would need his expertise, even though he might get killed by the ruffians up there, or to the south and try to help Myrcella become queen. And he says, shall I atone for my old sins or make some new ones? And so here he's at a crossroads, which is really what a lot of this chapter is about. It's Tyrion at a crossroads, and he gets some direction from Illyrio. But to me, whether going north or south was another kind of allusion to this heaven or hell idea. And oh, this is the fun one about the whore, as she describes in the book, not too kindly. So it's this youngish blonde girl, and I'm just going to quote the story. It says, "Yes, my lord, I was bought to please the king. She was blue-eyed and fair, young and willowy. I'm sure you did. I need a cup of wine." She poured for him. "Master Illyrio said that I am to scrub your back and warm your bed. My name is of no interest to me. Do you know where whores go?" Tyrion asks. Now, to me, this little bit where she says my name and it gets cut off could be, telling us to pay attention to that little bit here, because it's a question. Like, we kind of want to know what her name is, especially once we find out that she was used to please a king. We don't know who the king is. In context, it seems like the king of Pentos, but we don't know. So when I was making this note, I was kind of wondering, who is she? Why do we care that she was with the king? What's her name? What's up with this girl? And later, Illyrio goes on to say that she was trained in lists and repeats that the king enjoyed her. So was the point of mentioning her just to say that, she was skilled and would, be good for Tyrion? And that Tyrion is refusing her despite all of this? Is that showing his kind of disregard for something he used to take pleasure in from the last books? I don't know. We're going through it more. I'm just reading. I have a note here where Illyrio is telling Tyrion that his idea that he might try to go make Myrcella queen and be an advisor to her, he tells her that the queen is to kill her, and that Dorne might rise from Myrcella, but Dorne is alone and is not enough. And he says that if you are clever as our friend insists, you know this. And Tyrion does know this, but Tyrion is, he's in a depressed state here. He's considering, eating poison mushrooms. But to me, again, what this is doing is setting up that Dorne is alone, and queening Myrcella would kill her. But there are other people who can be made queen. Or what if you could add somebody to Dorne, or you could add a faction to Dorne? That's what that little bit is setting us up for. And of course, we know what is going to come with Aegon and the Dornish plan to marry Daenerys. So it seems to me that these are all kind of... This is, to me, a hint that all this is kind of stitched together, in a way. It's all kind of coming in the same wave, which is a Dornish-influenced political power shift. And again, I had also wanted to note here, sorry, looking back at that last quote that he says, "If you're clever as our friend insists." Now we know that friend is Varys. But that little bit there sounds like the beginning of a plan. Because, as I said, it's setting up this idea that those options don't work, but that doesn't mean that that idea is bad. And so we know what's up with Aegon, but we don't know exactly why or what their plan is or who exactly is aligned with that. So I think that's a nice little hint at what's to come. And it also sounds like it's part of their plan. The way that he's talking about it, he's saying, when Illyrio says it, it's because he knows it. And to me, it's kind of like he has thought through that option already. That might be a little too speculative, but that's the kind of, the emotional feeling of it, maybe rather than the logical feeling of it. Oh, and this is to me the most important quote of this chapter is Illyrio talking about the alternatives to Tyrion's initial plan, and he says, "Not Stannis, not Marcella." The yellow smile widened. Another, stronger than Tommen, gentler than Stannis, and with a better claim than the girl Marcella. A savior come from across the sea to bind up the wounds of bleeding Westeros. Fine words, Tyrion was unimpressed. Words are wind. Who is this bloody savior, he asked. A dragon. The cheesemonger saw the look on his face at that and laughed. A dragon with 3 heads. So, this is where we get this dragon with 3 heads idea, which is commonly, talking about Dany's riders. I don't love the riders idea for reasons I'll get to at another point. But to me, so this made me question a couple things. So we know that what eventually happens is that Varys props up Aegon, and so it seems that Aegon is this dragon that's going to come in. However, here Illyrio, who he's working with, is talking about Daenerys clearly because she's the one that has dragons, and she's the one who has 3 dragons, and she's a Targaryen. Now, it could just be that this is written before the reader knows that Aegon exists, so it's kind of made to look like it's Dany, and we'll see in the next chapter that the next chapter is a Daenerys chapter, so, that's obviously intentional. So I don't know if it's an intentional misdirection. But my big idea is that, I'm wondering now, does Illyrio not know about Aegon? Because remember that Illyrio is the one who took care of Daenerys back in A Game of Thrones. So he knows about Daenerys. So he ought to know that Aegon, if he's as tight with Varys as we think, then that means he must know that Aegon is around. But the way he's saying this and the way it's all pointing to Daenerys tells me that he's not referring to her here. So to me, if he does know about him, if he's in as thick with Varys as I think he is, that means that the ultimate plan is to marry Aegon to Daenerys as we think. However, that brings a ton of questions with me. Mainly, why did they ever let Daenerys get out of their grips if that's what they were planning from the beginning? Or is this something that has been stitched together after the fact? This is all making me question, what did they originally want to do with Daenerys? Why did they put her over here to begin with? So hopefully I'll be able to pick out some other things going into later chapters with young Griff, and we'll learn some more. So hopefully this was helpful. Hope it's fun. I like to just work through some of these ideas, and I'm picking out some interesting thoughts to think about. I'll probably be doing a theory video next on. I'm liking this Southern conspiracy with some of the past histories of the Starks and the Lords paramount prior to the events of the story. So stay tuned for that. If you like this, please subscribe so you can keep getting it. And if you liked it, then like it. If you think other people would like it, then share it. And I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day.